Your hand, she'll hand you a mic and we can get you going with your questions. All right. So here we are, 4 athletes competing tomorrow, Final X. Again, the run of show. Doors open at 11:30 for media and the event staff entrance. True third matches will be at 12:30. Session 1 at 2 p.m. Those will be round 1 of the best of 3 series. 5 p.m. will be session 2. That's rounds 2 and 3 of the best of 3 series. And Beat the Streets exhibition matches will be slotted in between there, approximately 4:15 p.m. So I will introduce our athletes here. Kayla Miracle, 2-time Olympian, 2-time world medalist. We've got Macey Kilty, she's a 2-time world medalist. Kennedy Blades, 2024 Olympic silver medalist, and then Kylie Welker, world bronze medalist last year as well. Kayla, I'll start with you if you just have an opening statement about the opportunity to compete at Final X this weekend.
Hey, yeah, I'm just excited to be here again. The Prudential Center last, 2 years ago? Was amazing. The energy was great, so I'm just excited to, repeat the process.
Macey?
I'm grateful to be here again. 2 years ago, I was able to make my first senior world team here, so it's a special place for me.
I'm really happy to be here, and I'm super excited to compete tomorrow, and hopefully I make my first senior world team.
Yeah, the last time I was here was for a true third match, so this is my first opportunity to compete at Final X for a world team spot, so I'm just super excited and very grateful for the opportunity.
Great. I'm going to keep it going with Kylie. So it seems like last year was really a breakthrough year for you. You came through and got that U23 world title. You got the senior world medal. Can you just talk about your growth over the past year and what has enabled you to make the jump that you've had?
Yeah, it's definitely been a process, as you guys all know. It's a journey from start to finish, and last year was a very good year. Coming short on the Olympic team was really hard for me, and so to be able to turn it around and have another opportunity to be able to compete for Team USA was really special for me, and I think that I learned a lot about myself when I, did have that falling short, so I think it was, really, really awesome, and yeah.
Thanks, Kylie. Kennedy, how has that Olympic medal changed your life?
Yeah, honestly, the Olympic medal has been a dream of mine, of course. I wanted gold, but, the second best, which is silver. And it's been amazing. There's been so many opportunities that opened up for me and for the sport of wrestling in general, and I hope to continue that. And, I just hope to continue to break boundaries, and hopefully the next generation can do even more and stuff. So at the end of the day, for me, it's to grow the sport of wrestling and to do the best I can.
Macey, you mentioned a little bit wrestling here in 23. That was when you made the world team, and you go on. You've won 2 world medals since, which is really cool for you in your journey. Compare then and now. Compare Macey coming into this building in 23 and how you have changed since then.
Yeah, I've kind of been all over the place, training-wise. I've been out at UNC, little Stillwater, little OTC. So just taking those experiences and learning from them, growing as a person and as a wrestler. I think I'm the same Macey Kilty, but I've definitely evolved and changed in my wrestling and the way I go about living in my wrestling.
Thanks. And Kayla, for you, your life has changed a little bit over the past year. Can you just talk about the perspective on coaching, teaching, and how that has enhanced your abilities as a competitor?
Yeah, so for those that don't know, I took on a teaching role at Valiant College Prep, so typically, it's summer now, so it's a little bit easier, but during the school year, teaching all day, and then I go into the practice room and I get to be Coach Kayla and Athlete Kayla at the same time. So before I put the athlete hat back on, I didn't know if I would ever be in this position again. It was tough after the games, and so I think being around the kids, their energy, their eagerness, they just love the sport and they have so much fun with it, and so that kind of got pushed onto me, and I was like, dang, this is magical. This is something really special, and so that perspective change of okay, I love this sport and I love getting to do what I get to do. I think that kind of put me back into this position, and so without that, I don't know where I'd be. So I'm just excited to get to be excited every single day with them.
Awesome. Thanks, Kayla. All right, we will open the floor for questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. Rory?
Christian Piles, this question's for Kennedy. Kennedy, you made the move to Iowa City. You see sitting up on the stage here, there's two other ladies that wrestle there. What is it like getting to train in that sort of an atmosphere, and how do you feel like you guys all benefit one another, just the opportunity to train side by side?
Yeah, I think it was obviously an amazing move for me to move to Iowa City and just to be on an amazing girls team. And we have, all three of us, me, Kylie, and Macey, were in Final X, and that just really shows how tough it is in the room. And the best part is they're both close to my weight. I'm actually like right in the middle, so I get two partners, two different styles. One's lighter, one's heavier, and so I just get to use that to just continue to build my arsenal. And the place in general is just amazing. All the girls push themselves. We have an amazing room with about 32 girls, and so we all have similar mindsets. So it's definitely a place I wanted to be, especially to finish off with my college, with my school, because at first academics is first, and then I wanted to be in an environment with wrestling. So just Iowa City was the best place for me, and I love that. Like I said, both of these girls, we push each other, we help each other a lot, and so it's just super fortunate that we all hopefully can make the world team together, and it'll be awesome for Iowa.
And you mentioned the weight. You made the weight change down to 68 kilograms. How are you feeling at that weight class, returning there? You wrestled at the Olympic trials there in 2021, but how does it feel wrestling down at 68 now that you have some competition under your belt?
Yeah, being at 68 is an amazing decision I made. Honestly, I walk around maybe a kilo over, so I'm naturally at the weight. When I was around 76, I had to be on creatine, protein shakes, continue to lift, stuff like that. So I was trying to gain the weight, whereas after the Olympics, we just leveled out my body because my weight class was 160 for Iowa, and I naturally started going down to around 151, and the weight class is around 149. So this is just great. I basically train around my weight, so then when it's time to compete, it's like nothing's different. And the best part is I still feel like I have my speed, my talent, my strength, everything, so nothing's really changed, and I'm just super excited to compete at the world level at this weight.
A question for Kayla. You mentioned that you've been doing this for a while, and now you're at a different phase in your life, but I want to go back and just think, just state the fact that you've been, I think, at every Final X, right? Like since the beginning, and competing on the senior level for a while. So if you could just share your perspective of, how the sport has changed since then, and then a little bit more of, what it was like for you at the first Final X versus this Final X now.
Yeah, so I think this is my 5th Final X. So I've been to all of them. Some of them we've had split locations, and then one of them I unfortunately had to delay. So that was a whole weird situation in itself. But going into the first one, my mindset was like, this is so cool, Final X. Like, what is going on? This is a new thing. It was really exciting, and I was just really excited to be there, but I wasn't ready to make a team yet. So I think that's been my shift, is after that one, I was going in and I'm like, yeah, this is a really cool opportunity, but I'm here to do a job. And so I've been able to focus that way, but just the growth, the venues that we get to be a part of, even when I had to delay and I was in a high school gym, that thing was packed. We had a Beat the Streets duel going on between the matches. So it was just really exciting. Just Final X in itself is just a really exciting thing, and it helps to grow the sport, and getting a bunch of really great talent on the card, whatever you want to call it, is just really special to be a part of, because there's just so much talent within the U.S.
Again, raise your hand if you have any questions. We'll bring you the mic.
Kyle Klingman with Flow Wrestling. Kylie and Kennedy, you made the Olympic trials at age 17, made it to the finals. How has wrestling changed for you in the last 4 years?
Looking back at that, it's still crazy to me. We were so young. I was 17 at the time, and I still had a lot of pressure on myself, even at that young of an age. And I think looking back, I set the standard really high for myself, at least, that, there wasn't anything less that I wanted to do except for make that team. And so even just like moving forward, I think taking every win, every loss, you know, as a lesson learned, and I think it's, you know, put me where I'm at, and you know, I'm at Iowa now, and it's been nothing but a blessing. So I think, you know, God has a plan, and I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah, I think for me, age 17, I was pretty young, and I just had a lot of maturing to do, I think, although I felt like I was still at a high level, and, you know, my technique was great, everything, but the mentality wasn't there specifically. So I think over the years, we definitely worked on that, and I worked on even just small technique, which is a lot different from high school to like the senior level. And so I think that those two were the big main things, was just focusing on specific technique where it's just not, you don't really do it, like something like the circle, you know, instead of just like, you know, getting pushed out all the time, like you have to, you know, figure out how to wrestle around the circle. And then mentality wise, like you can't just go out there and just think it's a free for all. You have to understand that like your opponent also has talent too, and you know, they're focusing on your specific technique. So I think at the end of the day, I just matured a lot, and I'm around a lot of different coaches, especially in Iowa with Coach Brands and Coach Dennis, and then Coach Chun, Coach Tanya, and Gary, and then going back home to Coach Izzy. So I've just had so many different people help me get to this level, and I think that was the biggest thing for me.
I want to go back real quick to Kayla. Just talking about your longevity in the sport, can you talk about how you've seen women's wrestling progress over the years, and what has enabled it to get to this point where it's really, you know, it's top billing in the sport of wrestling?
So it's funny because 2 years ago when we were in this press conference, I had Helen, Adeline, I don't remember who else was up here, and they were the old ones. And I think, Kennedy, were you? Yeah. Yeah, and so we were like the young ones, and now I feel I'm the old one, so it feels really weird. But yeah, the difference, I mean, I remember training with you two, Kylie and Macey, when they were in high school out in Wisconsin. And so it's really cool to see, you know, just them coming up through the system, the USA Wrestling system, the age group, winning age group medals, age group world titles, things like that, and now senior medals. So we can see it from the ground up. I went to the age group world team trials out in Spokane, and just the talent there was incredible. From U23 down to the little ones. It was so cute to watch, but they were monsters. And so that's the talent that we have coming up, and they're gonna be taking our seats here, you know, before we know it.
All right, any other questions from the room?
Kennedy, what's it like to take another human being through the air and throw her for 5 points?
Honestly, I think for me it's just really fun. It happens super quick. It's literally probably like a second only, but and then when you realize it, it's like, oh shoot, you're already halfway to finishing the match. So I think it's just super cool. I don't think this is supposed to matter, but I really like the picture or the video. Like that's my favorite part, because like I try to like make a nice arch and like go on my tippy toes and stuff. So I really look forward to like seeing the pictures and the videos and stuff at the end of the day. But you know, it's really cool seeing other people do it, and then they DM me and they're like, how did this look and stuff like that. And it's like, wow, like everyone's hitting it now. So, you know, this wasn't really seen a lot, you know, just only a few years ago. And now, you know, I mean, the suplex has always been there, just no one's really hitting it before. So now, like that I'm hitting it, I'm just having fun with it. And like I said, you're already halfway done with the match, so. But yeah, I really like the picture and the video. I think that's what makes me like excited to do it.
Question for Macey, same kind of question that Kayla just answered, but from your perspective too, because I know you've medaled at I think every age level that you can have, and now the 2 senior level medals, and now back at Final X. So if you could just say, you know, speak about what it's been like to see women's wrestling since when you were, you know, in high school. I think you were one of the first Who's Number 1 female competitors we've had, and now again sharing a dais up here with the talent that's up there.
Yeah, I was just thinking about too, piggybacking off of what Kayla was talking about. I was at some of the like world championships with when you were making your first like senior world teams and stuff, and I was a partner. And so just like thinking about how far I've come, how far the sport's come, the experiences I've gotten with that stuff is, it's stuff that I've been able to learn input into my arsenal and into my career. So just going back with them when I was 18, going on those trips as a partner, I learned so much from just seeing how they prepare, get ready for tournaments, and now I'm on that stage and I can use that stuff to my advantage. So yeah, it's grown so much. And then talking about who's number one, being on one of the first cards, the first 2 cards, that's really cool. And now to see like we have a whole full lineup for you guys' cards. So yeah, the sport's come a long way and it's awesome.
Kayla, Everest Leidecker is competing in Final X alongside you. This has got to be the first time a student and a teacher at the same high school are competing in an event like this. What's it like preparing alongside a student, and did you ever have to give her detention?
Well, she hangs out in my classroom every lunch anyways, so even if I gave her detention or whatever we have, she would come hang out with me anyways, so it's whatever. No, she's great though. She works super hard in the room. Outside of the room, she is always on. She'll do like extra of her online class, so when we're in that class together, she can just sit and watch film. And she's just a student of the sport. It's really awesome to see, and it's been cool getting to train alongside of her. We're very different. You know, she'll be doing a 3 a day, and I'm like, I'm barely getting through this one. I'm like, you're also 17 and I'm 29, so our bodies are very different. But she's incredible. Like getting to work with her, break things down with her, just watching her during a match day or whatever. The way she thinks about wrestling and goes about wrestling, she's very creative, but she's also very like stingy and strict in certain ways. It's really unique, and I've enjoyed getting to be, you know, right next to her. And I'm sure USA Wrestling, when you guys were putting the lineup order, you guys maybe did that a little bit on purpose, because that is a really special thing to have a student-athlete, teacher-coach connection, and I'm excited to make a team right after she makes a team, and that'll be special getting to, I think she said her 18th birthday will be when we're overseas in Croatia, so she's already making plans for how we're going to celebrate, so I'm excited for that.
I'll throw one out here to Kylie, and Kennedy and Macey, feel free to chime in too, but I wanted to talk to you guys about the impact that college wrestling opportunities have had on the growth of the sport. And Kylie, you were, you know, kind of the signature signee, I guess, for Iowa right at the beginning, and have been there, 3 years now, and a couple national titles later, and you know, you see the impact that Iowa is having on women's wrestling, but also the programs across the country. Just talk to me a little bit about those opportunities and what you're seeing from your perspective.
Yeah, it's funny you asked that. I was just, kind of reminiscing. I don't remember who I was with, but I was just talking about how the fact that when I signed at Iowa, it was just me and Chun. There was no Tanya, there was no Gary, there was no Lauren, who's our trainer. The program has come such a long way, and it's crazy because it's only been a short amount of time. But it's really changed my life. The people in the community that Iowa has provided me is, like none that I've been in. So I'm just blessed to have that. And then also just to see all like the little girls that look up to, me and my teammates is incredible. I never thought that I'd be in such a big position to make such a big impact on the younger generation. So that's a really cool part that has came along with it. And we're just trying to push the sport forward, and I hope that, Lehigh announcing their program, and I hope that we can get more, big Power 5 programs to continue to, push the sport forward, because, it's amazing to be a part of it, and I hope that, the younger generation has even better opportunities than what us three have, and all four of us, I guess, so.
Yeah, Kayla was a 4-time WCWA champ back in the day, right?
The good old days.
Any other questions for our panel? Just raise your hand. All right, we will have the athletes come step in front of the stage. If you want to do breakout interviews with any of them, feel free to take an athlete and have a conversation. With that, we will see you tomorrow for the show.